grab your seats and welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Biggles Bunker. I am your host, Biggles Metz. And over here, I have a very special guest. You know him as Roscoe Fastfist in our D&D nights on Twitch. He is known on the internet as Sternjudge. Now, can you go ahead and tell us something about yourself?
Yeah. Welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm Sternjudge. I classic nerd. I like going to the Ren Fair. Got my mug here. I love reading books, sci-fi, fantasy, and we'll talk about it later. But actually, Dragonlance was one of the first books that I was kind of inspired for a D&D character for.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so when did you first get into D&D? Was it like the games, or was it more of the tabletops?
It was actually D&D itself. We started playing about 4 years ago with a good friend of ours who was actually just on, played Jacques. He really wanted to play and had a friend who was a DM and is actually really good at it, but that was about 4 years ago, and man, I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah, I met that friend. I was in that campaign for a day.
Yes, that was an amazing episode as well, where we
I was
well,
Flint
not episode,
Eastwood.
but yeah, that was classic.
Flint Eastwood. My actual character's name was Biggles Giggles. He was a spy. He was a halfling. And I was just kind of like hanging out. What's up, Ryan? No, my bed's not in here. You know, that's just the Biggles bunker bed. Where is it? It's over here. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just hanging out as I'm like chained up and just kind of swing and unlock myself, and then we go kill a whole bunch of things. And
Yeah,
then
that was
I just kind of vanished out of the game,
Yeah, that was great. It was a great, like, just one character shot. It was great.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
All right, nice. So you've been playing for 4 years.
Yeah, and pretty much consistently, except there was just only a few months between when we stopped playing our old campaign and then Skizzles started this one up. So it's been good. I've had a group for a while, which doesn't always happen for some people. They get out of it or don't have a DM, and luckily I've been able to keep playing since then. Yeah.
So not having a DM. Have you
Yeah.
ever thought about being a DM?
So I've thought about it, and I don't know if I'd be good at it. I might be good at it, but I'd rather be, I think, the person that's interacting with the world they create than having to like create it and do all the like making sure you're not killing your players, but making sure you're having fun. If I was a DM, I feel like I'd just be like, well, you guys all died. My bad. Guess I won.
Sorry, I'm not pulling any punches.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be like that. It would just be like, if I'm gonna play a dragon, I want to fucking kill everybody. It'd be,
Right.
but yeah, and it's a lot of prep work. I think Vinny said that. Like, I don't mind the reading, but that whole world building aspect is a little daunting to me. Having ideas for any which way something could go takes a lot of effort. It's a lot of prep.
Yeah. So I have a question from Vinny.
Yeah, sure.
He wants to know, who do you think the leader of the group is?
The leader of the group, I think, is Leovani.
Okay.
Just because he's out there, he's doing stuff, and Roscoe wouldn't like think of himself as the leader. He might have answers, he might have solutions to stuff, or might be a little more level-headed, but he's literally smaller than Leovani and kind of like takes that back seat, like, hey man, go do it and I'll be there to help you.
Yeah, I was like, no, dude, my character is the leader. Roscoe's
Yeah.
like the face of the
Yeah.
group, but
Which is
he's the
hilarious.
talker. Yeah.
Yeah, but only when I'm like, okay guys, like, let's get something done.
You have to put us back in line, because I just want to go kill everything and you just want to get the job done.
Right, and that's fine. I think every type of character needs to have something to do, and I'm fine with that. I like it.
So do you have any good D&D stories?
Do I ever? I got a bunch of stuff. My first character was basically I want all the power kind of person. I don't care about gold or stuff, but whatever makes me more powerful. And oh man, so a couple of times, which is weird because I'm not even like that's not even my thing, but I've been swallowed as that character about 4 different times by different various beasts because I had like no strength. I couldn't like get away from things. We were in the Tomb of Annihilation, and I stuck my hand into an orb of whatever that's called, the nothingness. I lost my whole arm, which was kind of a pain in the ass, but I did it willingly because I had to. I was like, listen, this is going to get us out of it. I'm doing it. In that same campaign, kind of after that, we played some of the Magic the Gathering guilds, part of that world, and we were indebted for like 6 million some gold because the goofballs in our group decided to blow up a whole tavern, destroyed it. I just ran out the back and then had to like come jailbreak them, but they were like, "You're a part of this group," and I'm like, "Do I have to be?" But that was kind of fun. So we had our souls were like, indebted to these guilds and stuff.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It was frustrating because we kind of got like told what to do at that point. They're like, "Hey, you're going on this mission," and we're like, "Can we just not?" But it was fun. It was a good way to like advance us actually doing something constructive instead of, I don't know, playing baseball with corpses.
All right.
Kept us
Yeah.
on
Well,
track.
that's my favorite thing to do during this
Oh,
campaign.
I love it.
You know.
But yeah, absolutely, it's funny. I like it. Gotta have.
So, what inspired you to play D&D?
Honestly, it was just kind of like Ian was like, "Hey, I've got this guy that's gonna DM. Do you guys want to play?" And Nick and I were like, Skizzles and I were like, "Yeah, let's do it." We bought like 2 or 3 books, and I read the whole thing. I read the whole player's handbook like twice before we even started playing. Like it was we went ham, and there's a lot of stuff about D&D I think that we'll get into, but I really like the just do whatever you want. Do this, tell the DM you want to do it, and see if it happens or not,
Mm-hmm.
It's like a RPG that you don't have to pick from 4 dialogue options,
Right. You have all your own.
Yeah, whatever you want.
So, what was your first character, like class and race?
Yeah, so he was a sorcerer tiefling, but I didn't play wild magic. There was an option. I forget which book. I think Xanathar's had just come out or was close to coming out. So I switched to that subclass where you could actually take some heal spells because we didn't really have that aspect to our group, and I really wanted to balance that out. But it was a sorcerer tiefling. His name was Stopheles, which is Mephistopheles, kind of a devil kind of
Mm-hmm.
inspiration. Yeah, but very much I'm gonna go and gain as much power as I can, which was kind of fun. Made some questionable choices, and the group was like, "Oh!" Just melted some people's faces, killed a couple people for no reason, kind of thing. Yeah, questionable at best.
So, who inspired that character?
So that character was based off of, like I said, I read Dragonlance, and his name, one of the characters was Raceland Magir, who is a very, powerful. I don't know if he's a sorcerer wizard. I don't know really what you would classify him as, but basically he was all about power. He was very frail, very weak, but he had a twin brother who was like a strong, like fighter's type. So he literally leaned heavily on him while he was like draining his life essence to try and do some really powerful stuff, powerful magic. I think his eyes were hourglasses. He had gone through some trial where he like gave up part of his soul or something crazy like that. I don't really remember.
I can't get it to zoom in more.
Yeah, I don't.
But
yeah,
they're hourglasses if you look close enough.
Yeah, he went through some crazy stuff in a tower and was like, "I'll be okay." But yeah, that was my inspiration for that tiefling sorcerer. Little different variances and stuff, but it was fun. It was cool.
So I just started reading the Dragonlance books 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
and I actually based one of my characters off of Tanis, half
Okay.
elven, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the elven side kind of like disowns him, and then like
Yep.
the Dragonlance world doesn't really like half elves that much, so he
Hmm.
disguises that he's a half elf with the beard,
The beard. Yeah.
right?
Was it like a red beard or something like that?
I think it was brown. Hold on,
Okay.
I can pull it up real quick, because it's on the same page as that other one. I just need to,
Makes sense.
yeah. So I based it off of Tanis. Oh wait, hold on. That's not the one I want. I want the one right below it. Um, so I based my character off Tanis,
Yep.
and he's right here.
Yep.
But I made it a younger version, and like I added some parts to it, and I was like, oh no, he's going to be like so after like how they like fought and got into the thing. So he's a half elf, right, based off Tanis, but he was kidnapped by orcs in a raid, and then he was like a slave for the first
Oh.
like 10 years of his life, and he broke out, and he ended up becoming a pirate, and like yeah.
That's
So
cool.
but his whole like his original like theme was based off of Tanis.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly, but I feel like Tanis and Aragorn have a lot in common as far as their lineage and what they do. I mean, Tanis was kind of like a ranger, right? Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
he wasn't like deep into like society and stuff. He was kind of on the fringes and whatnot.
So, question: since you brought up
Yep.
Aragorn, who's your
Yeah.
favorite
Yep.
Lord of the Rings character?
Oh man. Uh, I think I have an answer for this. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. He's probably getting. Oh wait, I think he has a sword from one of the characters, and I believe that is what he's getting.
I think it might have to be Aragorn.
Yeah.
I
So
like to wear this at the Ren Fair. I have it in the scabbard right now, but yeah. I
yeah.
mean, he's just. I was 13, went to see Lord of the Rings, or 11 or something like that, and
Mhm.
that battle on the hilltop at the end of the first movie, that was dope.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
goes after him.
Yeah. So I go to the Red Fair a lot, like every year, and I'm so sad it was closed this year.
Oh, when do you like? You
Ours
mean like 2020 or?
Yeah, or no, it's closed 2021 because ours
Oh,
ours ends in 2 weeks, I
oh,
think.
so it's in springtime. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
ours is the one in PA is in fall,
yeah.
so
So
we should be able to go.
I may or may not be making a trip to PA just for the Red Fair, because
That would be awesome.
Barely Balance is there too. Because Nick sent me a picture of them, so it's like fuck yeah. So
Okay.
we'll go there and I'll get to check out my favorite Red Fair team. But back to the interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I think it's relevant. It was relevant.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is your favorite class? I know you've played 3 classes so far, you said?
Yeah, I played a sorcerer, which was pretty cool, especially with that subclass that let you do a little bit of different stuff, gave you some heal spells. That was cool. I played an inquisitive rogue, but it did not really work well for the campaign it was in. We were running the Avernus module, so it was basically I was just stuck in hell and I didn't really have any investigating to do. And then obviously Roscoe with the fighting and stuff. I think my favorite is still Softly's. I spent a lot of time playing him, and I honestly think spellcasters are more my favorite. The martial are cool, and you can do a lot of stuff like out of combat, but whack 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 is kind of your bread and butter, and that's fun. But I like having the options of all these different spells, and every round of combat's different because you're always thinking, oh, I can do this, and then something happens. You're like, well, crap, now I got to try this, or you know, change up your strategy. So having all those spells is pretty cool.
So, after the favorite race or favorite class, do you
Yeah.
have a favorite class to you or favorite after favorite class, do you have a favorite race to use in D&D?
I so the answer kind of changed when Tasha's came out because they kind of gave a way that you could play almost any race and change those stats so you're not pigeonholed into one thing. That's why I played Tiefling because they had charisma. But if you did something a little different. I think I really like the idea of like a tabaxi who's like kind of just all over the place as far as like, oh well, I'm just here to steal shiny stuff, or like a furbolg who's very out there and like kind of just well, I live in the forest, but like if they did something other than be a druid, that'd be kind of interesting too. Like just kind of
Shamans.
swapping stuff that's not conventional. That'd be kind of cool. But I do like tieflings are just they just look cool, you know. Along with Azamar, those are also really just out there stuff. The humans, whatever, they're fine, but like the unique stuff is what I like.
If you
Yeah.
want to min max in D&D, play a variant human.
Yeah, I have one idea for that, but that's also based off a character from Magic the Gathering, actually. Kamal is a like a barbarian human. He's just big dude with a huge ass sword, and that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So, who's your favorite character to interact with in the campaign right now?
So I was thinking about this, and I think I really like Vinny and Rake. They do really great with their accents, and they're very like definitely playing a character. And I realized through thinking about that, I tend to play Sternjudge, you know, like as a less of a character and more of a player. So I think seeing people that are good at actually playing their character and putting that element into it is pretty cool. So Vinny Rake, pretty great. You obviously, Leivani, you're just I'm gonna go smash stuff, and I'm like, well, guess I'm going to smash stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with me role playing is I tend like when people start using accents, I tend to like copy their accents. So like all of last session when we had Jacques, I was speaking like a French accent. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, and
I can't help myself when I'm like on the stream with like my Australian friends like Lyndon. I like copy his accent, and he goes,
Yep.
"Oh, that's a pretty good Australian," and I was like, "Oh, dude, I was just making fun of you."
Yeah, and it's hard if you don't have a accent nailed down, like or like really thought about it and have done it. It's easy to just kind of pick up on somebody else's stuff, which is fine. But yeah, like Vinny, I mean, that's like it's such a like big character. It's easy to I think would be easier to hold on to that without like slipping into something else. It's hard to get away from that accent.
It may or may not be based on some of our uncles.
Oh yeah, part of the family.
Yeah. So,
Makes sense.
do you have a hard time role playing when we're like out of hand?
I kind of knew going into this that whatever you and whoever was playing was gonna, you know, I knew that it was gonna be a little hectic, and that was fine. I don't have a hard time role playing. I think I'm just more apt to sit back and like let the scene play out rather than like jumping in with some shenanigans, as it were. But not, yeah. I'll react, but I'll let things kind of play out first, and then see what's going on.
All right. So my next question is, when you're building a character, do you like to min max like before you're playing, or do you just be like, all right, this is the character I'm going to build. Everything's going to be like this. I don't care about the stats. I just gotta play this character that I want.
I am 100% min-maxing when I think of a character. I have no less than 5 different ideas, and all they say is the multi-classes that they are. I don't have any information really about what the character is. I kind of build that afterwards. And I think that's probably just playing like role-playing games, like video games specifically. Like how can I do the best? And then go from there with the story, which is kind of how the monk came about. Although the drunken monk I liked as like a idea. I kind of started with that. I knew it was going to be a monk, but the whole backstory kind of thing that kind of came through that, I guess.
So follow-up question: do you build your characters off the min max, or do you get the character idea first and then you min max off the character that you want to play?
I definitely start with the min max stats class generally, and then I kind of explain why they are that way. Okay. So like if I had for example, like a warlock, 2 levels of warlock, and then a bard, maybe they went into the Feywild and were kind of seduced by this power, but then they're like, I'm gonna go travel the world and tell stories about it or something like that. So I kind of explain with the background why I picked that class and stuff. But I definitely start with the class ideas because I just love how abilities interact and that kind of thing.
So, do you have a favorite campaign that you've played so far?
I really do like this campaign. I like that it's succinct enough that it's not just all over the place. The first campaign we played was homebrew with modules, like it would go homebrew module, more filler stuff, then we'd kind of leak into another setting. But this one kind of has its own contained like idea. We know what we need to do, have a general timeline of how long that's going to take. I think this has been really, I like this one a lot. We've played some modules that didn't really jive, and that's been kind of hard, especially when I picked that character that made no sense for before I knew what we were doing. That was rough. Yeah. But we know kind of what we were getting into with this, so that helped.
Do you have a campaign that you wish never ended?
I don't know. I think the first one playing Stoffles, just because we only got to like level 14, to see him go the whole way to 20 would have been really cool. Or at least I was pretty sure that at 17 I was just going to take Wish and then just blow up the campaign without Wish. Just like, I wish I was a powerful genie, you know? That kind of like, well, we'll just see what happens, and that would have been cool, but we didn't quite get there. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of the campaigns end before you want to finish. Like,
absolutely,
we played Strahd, the Curse of Strahd, right? With Wallace. Wallace was our DM, right? And we're playing, and it's almost everybody's first time playing except for me. And one of our older guys played D&D in the 80s, but he didn't play in the 90s or the 2000s. So whatever version was in the 80s, he played.
Sure.
Right? So whatever. So he's like, yeah, I haven't played in forever, so we want to play. So we got to level 8, right? And we got to the dinner party at Strahd's, right?
Oh.
And he was telling us, like, we have to do this stuff, right? Or like bad things happen, right? So instead of making Strahd like the villain, he made Strahd more of like he's just misunderstood because he's been alive for thousands of years, and he's just kind of getting tired with the way things are going because people are like stupid people, you know?
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
Classic vampires.
Yeah, right? Just aggravated. But like, we ended up getting to level 10 in that campaign by the time we killed Strahd. And I left like the week or 2 weeks before because I was having personal issues with a couple of members in the group, and I didn't want to ruin the campaign, so I backed out. But what happened was we had this scroll of resurrection or something like that would work on something that's been dead for thousands of years or whatever. Like, you could resurrect anybody you want. And our original plan was to revive the love of Strahd, so he would like leave the people alone and stop, like, right? But we came across a silver ancient dragon, like the body of a silver, and he has all these followers, right? And we ended up rezzing the dragon instead, right? So we rezzed the dragon. Dude. So we have the dragon on our side now. We had his entire following on our side. And we're like, yeah, we could take out Strahd now. So the dragon probably did most of Strahd's health. But like, every time you play the Curse of Strahd, it's different because it's based on the cards you get. And we ended up getting the Sword of Light, which my character is actually from that silver dragon's like temple or whatever. So like, he was part of it, so that was his weapon originally, is how he played it in the story. So when I left, I handed the weapon to our barbarian,
Oh,
and our
boy.
barbarian took it and he did massive amounts of damage to Strahd.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. I wish I stayed to fight Strahd, but like I definitely paid attention to them doing it because they had it on like the webcam, so I could play or I could at least watch from home.
Yeah. Well, that's
Right.
cool. That does suck though. We had a similar issue in the Avernus campaign where stuff got kind of dicey with some of the characters, and we went back to the old campaign, and then eventually Skizzles and I left because of that, which sucks. But I think it was for the better. We got to play our campaign, which I've been having a blast doing.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm so glad I got like a D&D group to play. I tried to get Wallace as our first DM, but he's like
Sure.
I can't promise that I could be there, but I can come in like maybe like every other week or so. And then his whole schedule got changed when stuff happened. So
Yeah.
we lost him completely. He's around touring all of Balthira, making
Yes.
lots of gold, rocking.
Yes.
Right,
Absolutely.
and he has some of our magic items.
Yeah. Didn't we like hand him some, and then he was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm gonna dip."
Yeah, Vinny gave him all the good items. And we tried to be like, no, he doesn't have it anymore. But Vinny's like, no, he did. I
Yeah.
tried to be like, yeah. So do you have any D&D streams that you like to watch? Besides ours, of course, which is the
Yeah.
best one.
Well, I mean, I watch it live, so that's the best.
Yeah.
But I shortly after getting into D&D, I started watching Critical Role. Big name, obviously. But then recently you had been talking, and I've seen like clips. I'm starting to watch like all Dimension 20 stuff, and I really like their like. It's different because it's not like a live home game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like most of it's like a production, so they film parts of it and piece it together. But it's like a full story, which doesn't take quite as long as 7 people at a table playing Critical Role,
Mm-hmm.
where shopping takes 4 hours. So they
Mhm.
kind of compact it into. Yeah, it's easier to watch, I think.
Yeah.
But they're fun. They got great characters as well.
Yeah. So there's a character on there, Fabian Seacaster.
Yeah,
Fabian Arameus Seacaster.
Yes.
So I'm going to my next character is going to be like based off his voice. So he's
Okay.
going to be like kind of pompous and like
Yep.
Unless I end up making the girl character and like role play as a girl the whole time and just be like, which one of you boys are going to give me the information I need? And like have her be a rogue and has her expertise as persuasion, right?
Oh,
and just
man.
be like doing
Really
like,
mess with the DM.
doing ridiculous stuff to Skizzles to get him to have the NPCs do what I want. So those are my 2 characters that I'm like either that one or like a character that's based around his voice. That's kind of like a spoiled little rich kid,
High elf kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just make sure that your girl voice is better than Skizzles, okay?
Yeah, of course, easy.
Won't take much, but
Yeah. He just sounds like himself when he uses his girl voice.
Zing.
So do you have a favorite like campaign that you watch besides like ours? Like mine, I really love Fantasy High. Like I like Fantasy High, but there was a Team 4-star one that was amazing, and it was
Okay.
only 3 players though, so it was like, oh, I wish there was more people involved, but it was a lot of fun to watch.
I just finished sophomore year, so that's really the one that I've gotten into for Dimension 20. I just started the Unsleeping City, but they all seem pretty cool, very unique, lots of different accents, which is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This the Unsleeping City has a lot of the ones from Fantasy High, right?
It's the same cast.
Okay. Yeah, because Tiny Heist has an entirely different cast, and a lot of the other ones have totally different casts. So
Yeah, I think Matt Mercer is in Escape from Bloodkeep or whatever that is.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, he's in one of those.
Cool. I'm excited to watch that just to see him as a player.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Very different from.
So we're going to open it up to the chat. So chat, any questions for Roscoe? Any questions for Roscoe? We could keep talking while they're like getting
Yeah,
questions.
sure.
Um, so Ren Fair, who's your favorite act?
I don't know. I only recently started going, so only like 3 or 4 years. Um, so that's hard to say. I don't know that I have a favorite. I really just like going, walking around, seeing all the costumes, and of course the food and drink. Big on that. But I don't know. I don't have a. Some of the comedy acts that they do, like the like old English comedy, is pretty funny because it's a different type of humor and that kind of thing. I like that. That's pretty fun. And also just any music. I love music, so
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Um, so does Roscoe have the fastest hands in the game?
In the game, I don't know. +5 to Dex. That's pretty fast.
There
Maybe.
you go. Why the name Fastfist?
Obviously, it was a play on the fact that he's a monk and he just punches stuff. That was. I didn't really have a good thing for last names, and I didn't want to come up with something like.
It's a good surname for a hobbit.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I was like going to ask you that, but I already knew the answer.
Yeah. Yep.
um,
That was one of my Vinny moments where I was just like, yeah, this makes sense.
yeah, absolutely. So the next question is trying to pull up from our chat, it says here he's got another one, but I can't pull it up yet. What has been your favorite moment in this campaign so far?
I don't know. There's just something about, as a player, killing a dragon. That just
Mhm.
really. It's Dungeons and Dragons, so killing a dragon, I think, was most recently my favorite. Um, there's been a lot of hijinks. I'll tell you what. A lot of crazy stuff going on.
So, did you think the dragon was going to like kill any of us, or?
Oh, I was once. Once he was like, "Oh, I rolled that damage wrong. It's actually like twice as much." I got kind of scared. I was like, "This is not going to go well for me." Even with evasion, like none of us have a ton of hit points, right? I mean, you do obviously, but
Mhm.
the rest of us were a little squishy, especially if there was three of them. Oof. I was concerned. I was definitely concerned.
Yeah. So, a way to fix all that is usually you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to take toughness at 4, and then it like doubles your health basically.
Yes,
You're like,
I was
yeah.
looking at that. I was looking at that for my sorcerer because he was one squishy boy.
Mhm.
Hated dying all the time.
I had a character that would go in and fight people, but he would like get one shot. So I'd go in, and if I didn't one shot him, I died the next turn
Oh,
basically. Because like
ooh.
we rolled for health, and
Oh, okay.
I had the worst rolls ever. But like when I was rolling for stats, I had 3 18s. So I was like, yeah.
Wow.
And of course I didn't take it on Constitution because I was like, you know what? I'm going to have my dex all the way up. I'm going to have my charisma all the way up so I can like talk out of anything. And then I think I was like, I want intelligence as high as I can for like investigations. And
Yep.
then I had like 2 8s. So that was like
Oh.
my strength and my wisdom. Or no, I
Oh.
gave it to my con and my wisdom was a 10 because I wanted him to be like really smart, and I wanted him to be uh like okay, there's a thing there up in the ceiling. I'm going to shoot that thing up in the ceiling and try to knock it down and kill someone. So yeah, so I toughness saves everybody's life, man.
Man,
That's great.
dumping con, that's a bold strategy.
I know it's
Yeah.
stupid, but I
I don't
did
think I don't think I could do it.
it. All right. What has been your favorite riddle so far in the campaign?
Ooh, that's a good question. I really liked the footsteps. Those three that we kind of got through at the spark. Those were pretty good. I like those, especially because we all had to, like, everybody came up with an answer kind of thing. Like it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't obvious to everybody all of the time. It's a variety of stuff. So uh, yeah, probably the footsteps one.
So I have questions or
Yep.
like not questions. Like I'll know the riddle, and I'll be like, would Leovani know it? And I just roll a dice on the side,
Yeah.
right? And if it's not above a 10, I'll be like, no, he doesn't understand it. So I'll be like, I don't know, guys, and I'll just start saying stupid shit.
Nice. Nice. I like that. And that's one of those character things that I have a harder time doing.
Right.
Because if I know it, I want to know it.
Right. When we got to the thing and he's like, there's two doors. And I was like, which one of you's the liar?
That was pretty funny. I like that. I was like, I know where this is going.
What would he say? The paradox door,
Yes.
paradox or whatever. Yeah. So the next question: do you think Leovani can take the whole group by himself?
By himself. Oh, I don't know about that. He could hit us pretty hard. We get hurt, but if I could stunning strike him, or somebody could like get a hold person on him, that'd be pretty tough. A whole group.
Rake
I
has
don't know.
psychic damage,
Yeah.
so he can just
Yeah.
my rage won't do anything.
That would be helpful for sure.
Right. Yeah. So I would have a good chance if you don't stun me and if he doesn't get his things
Yeah.
off. But if he pops Spirit Guardians, I'm like, I have to run away from you guys, and then Vinny just blasts me, you know?
Yeah, you're just like running and he's just
Yeah.
pew pew pew.
All right. What's your favorite spell to use?
Oh man, I thought it was Disintegrate for a while using Stopheles,
Mm-hmm.
but if they save, I don't think it does anything. So when I realized that, I was like, I can't, like, I like the big like damage spells,
Mm-hmm.
especially because as a sorcerer, I had taken the meta magic where you could re-roll damage.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got like a bunch of 2s and 1s, I was like, nah, screw this, and I re-rolled them. So lightning bolt or that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
just really huge dice. I love the sound of like we were obviously in person. Yep, just the all those dice in the dice box. It's a great sound. Yeah, it's satisfying when I'm just like yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Once? What the?
Yeah, I was specifically like, min-maxing. I was like, I'm not gonna take those ones. Let's re-roll that.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Now that I went fighter and great weapons fighting, I can re-roll my 1s and 2s.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is a great feat, or not feat, but ability. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, when I got to re-roll, I was able to get that kill and act out with Biggles.
Yes,
It's great.
that's what it's all about.
Do you have a favorite role-playing thing that you like to do in our campaign? I know you said you prefer to play like you as a player than a character, but
Yeah, I want to lean more heavily into the whole drunken monk thing.
Mhm.
Just like being a little tipsy all the time, especially when we're fighting,
Mhm.
getting my tipsy sway in and that kind of stuff. So I think I'm gonna try and do that a little bit more, be a little drunker.
All right. Do we have any more questions from the chat? We have about 6 more minutes, or we can go for another. No, we got 6 more minutes. Try to do like a 45-minute one.
Sure.
Just we went through and got the questions done pretty fast.
Yeah, sorry I didn't bring up all kinds of random crazy shit like Skizzles did, like.
Right. I'm really good at improvising 100
Yep.
times.
Yes. Yes.
He called me right before the interview.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And he was like, "You going to do it with Nathan?" It's like, "Yeah, live on YouTube." Going to do it
Nice.
right now. Who do you think could, like, if a character could have their own spin-off in our group, who would you want to watch the most?
I think it would have to be Vinny, but just like it's like he's a background character because he's just always standing like in the back, like shooting stuff.
Uh-huh.
So it's like kind of like a mob show, but he's just always like, get him, pew pew pew. or just shows up at the end of every episode and like shoots everybody or something. You know, like that's the end of the episode.
Eldritch Blast.
Yep. Somebody's face just.
So there's another question in the chat. Do you like to mess with Skizzles during the game?
Oh, like physically down the hall, or just try and mess them up?
Both.
Yeah, I don't. I close my door normally because we get a lot of heat. Well, he yells and I can hear everything, and it messes with that. But I don't want to derail him too much because I know he can do that all on his own, and you three are definitely giving him a run for his money with that, trying to hurt all you cats.
There's times where I'm just like this. Like, I just asked that question 3 times.
I've seen that many times. It's pretty bad.
And I'm just like, is he not listening to me? And I'm like, I'm going to kick him from the stream and I'll DM it.
Yeah, he definitely gets distracted for sure. Or maybe he isn't paying attention. I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't love me like he says he loves me.
Aww.
I don't believe him. He's a liar. All right. If you had to die in the game, what would be the way you would want to go out?
I think Roscoe would get a little bit too drunk, a little bit too Leovani-esque. Like, I can fucking do this, let's go, and just run in and just get wrecked by something that's much stronger than him. He's like, no, we got this, man, let's go, it's fine.
Like, before you guys started lighting the mummy on fire, I was going to be like, get out of here, guys, because you were all dying. And I was like, I'll kill him. You guys go. And I was going to fight everybody by myself and see if I can get my new character that way. I was like, I got this, man. Like, but you guys lit him on fire. By fire be purged. Then you lit him on fire with your strike. And then he lit him on fire with strike. I was like, I'm the only one here without fire damage.
It would have been a long slog for you just hacking away at him.
I know. I wouldn't do double damage, but I would still do normal damage.
Yeah.
Because Biggles is...
he's so magical.
He's a magical item. Yeah, you would think he would be like a +2, because he was a magical item, and then we increased him with whatever it was, with the
adamantine or whatever that was.
Yeah, whatever Wolverine's made out of. I can't say that word.
Yeah.
Adamantium. Yeah, antimantium.
Antmantium.
Yes, Ant-Man-amantimum.
Yeah, although I think the abilities are really cool too, with the versatility. Instead of just, well, I hit him for a little bit more damage, but being able to come to your rescue and stuff like that, I like that. That's pretty cool. Diversity in the barbarian class, you know.
Yeah.
A little bit something extra.
Now I have fighter, so I'm like, second wind, free heal, just going off. And my character still has, like, I gave away 2 of my healing potions. I still have 5 healing potions, and then like 2 superior ones and 1 greater.
Gosh!
Like, I am stacked.
Yeah, I was talking about that. I was like, great. So the person that's least likely to make sure that his friends are okay, rather than just keep swinging and hope it dies first.
well, the thing is, my character. So if one of you guys go down, my character charges over and he like attacks, right? Because
that's true.
That's what my weapon does. Well, because I get a free movement to you, I'll just go kill the thing on you, and then my next one, I dump a healing potion on you.
That's a good plan. I like that. Hopefully we don't die too much.
And then I'd roar as a bonus action to scare them away from you.
Yes. That's pretty cool. I like that one. I like that ability too.
That's a Leonin thing.
Cool. Cool.
All right. Any other questions?
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
All right. Roscoe, tell us anything you want to say before we get out of here.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for watching our campaign. We're having a lot of fun. Hope you guys are too. It's a blast. Let's go punch some stuff.
Yeah, Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern.
Excellent.
Be there or be square. Thank you, everybody. Have a great one, and we are out of here.